Alright folks, Bonus Wagner here. As a short way to bridge the gap between Rage and the upcoming Downpour review, me and CK
What's happening, everyone?
figured we'd give you a bit of insight into our favorite games from over the years, basically as a way to let you know more about us. Keep in mind, these aren't necessarily what we consider to be the best games, even in their own franchises, but they are our individual favorites for whatever reason. As we continually truck on with these videos and reviews, we'll probably update this list and create more as time goes on. After all, we have plenty of other games we love and are probably forgetting about right now. Hey, just because we love doesn't mean we're good at it. Bonus Wagner's number 5, Shadow of the Colossus for PlayStation 2. When it comes to action-adventure games, no game has ever done so much with so little as Shadow of the Colossus. From exploring the expansive world to fighting the Colossi themselves, Shadow of the Colossus never leaves you wanting for jack squat, because it gives you every damn thing. Bits of the world are both diverse and interesting, and when fighting the Colossi, finding their weaknesses serve as a small bit of puzzle to everything. And each fight is unique and individual and freaking exciting. Every single Colossi fight is its own muffin basket of fun. There's even a small but present and astonishingly powerful story, a great soundtrack, and the whole game itself is exactly the right length. You never get tired of it, and you're never really needing more. In short, Shadow of the Colossus delivers everything you want in an action-adventure game in the exact ratios. Epic battles, a small yet diverse world, a powerful story, all in one tiny package. Shadow of the Colossus is a grenade of a game. By the time you realize what's happened, you're already blown away. Unlike some of the other games on my list, Shadow of the Colossus is fucking timeless. So if you haven't played it, go play it now. Well, go!
CK's number 5, Aliens vs. Predator 2 for the PC. Aliens vs. Predator 2 was the very first game I had ever played where I was able to play as the Predator, a Marine, and an alien at the same time. Playing as the Predator was beyond awesome for me. After watching the original Predator film, I wanted nothing more than to play as the Predator and to hunt humans in a video game. AVP 2 gave me exactly what I wanted. You were able to hunt humans, collect heads, which really didn't serve much of a purpose. You could change vision modes, you could cloak, you had all this awesome tech. As the Predator, you had it all. Playing as the alien was definitely different. You were able to run on the ceilings and on the walls and everything, and every time you did it, you kind of got motion sick and it made you want to puke. But what the alien lacked in tools, it definitely made up for it with maneuverability. Where the game really shines, though, is when you play as the Marine. Unfortunately, you kinda suck, and your weapons only seem to serve as a way to delay the inevitable. Chances are, if you saw more than one alien, you were probably going to get killed. And that happened more often than not. And that constant fear of death definitely helped the game. But the best part are the first 2 missions of the Marine campaign. There are absolutely no enemies at all. It's just you wandering around in this complex. You can hear the Predator moving around, you can see your motion tracker going off, and all they're doing is fucking with you for those first 2 missions. I mean, you're waiting constantly for something to show up, and it never fucking does.
Bonus Wagner's number 4, The Curse of Monkey Island for computer consoles. As a kid, some of my favorite games were of the point-and-click adventure variety, and none of them hold a place in my heart as much as the Monkey Island series. Well, the first 3 Monkey Island games, anyway. And of these original 3, Curse of Monkey Island is easily my favorite. I know this can sound like blasphemy against the great Ron Gilbert, of whom I have great respect, but don't get me wrong, I love the first 2 games. But where they had strong gameplay, great stories, and brilliantly dry humor, Curse of Monkey Island knocked it out of the park in every single possible way there was. The style, the humor, the characters, the perfectly cast voices.
Now, with the demon flames of this voodoo cannonball, I'll blast my significant other into the significant other world! That'll show her how much I truly care.
The game is damn near flawless. From singing pirates to an all-powerful demonic talking skull.
You know, you'd look great with a melting candle on your forehead.
I get the feeling you're not taking me very seriously.
Curse of Monkey Island does nothing but deliver laughs and fantastic puzzles. Every other point-and-click adventure game, well, needs more slaw.
And more slaw! Curse those villains! They never give you enough slaw with these value meals.
CK's number 4. Final Fantasy VI for the Super Nintendo and PlayStation. Everyone has their favorite Final Fantasy. Mine just so happens to be Final Fantasy VI, which at the time when I first played it, it was originally called Final Fantasy III, and it was on the Super Nintendo. I've never played a Final Fantasy game after that one that had really captivated me as much as this one had. I loved all the characters, I thought the creature designs were awesome, the music was beyond fantastic. And the villain was something that I wasn't really used to at the time. For me, villains consisted of jumping on Goombas and, shooting things in Contra. But when I finally played Final Fantasy VI and you run across Kefka, that was a whole different world of trouble. I mean, this guy was fucking insane. I mean, he was poisoning rivers and he was killing people left and right, and he effectively accomplishes his goal of taking over the world. In my opinion, heroes are only as good as their villains, and Final Fantasy VI definitely lived up to that. If you've only ever played the newer Final Fantasy games, I highly recommend that you go back and play some of the older ones. The amount of story that's in these tiny little characters is absolutely amazing.
Bonus Wagner's number 3, Metal Gear Solid, Snake Eater, for PlayStation 2. Whenever I get into discussions about the Metal Gear series, which is probably more often than I care to admit, they always remind me of the classic Star Trek movie argument of every other movie being good or something. But regardless of how you feel about the Metal Gear series as a whole, you would be hard damn pressed to argue against Snake Eater to be the finest game in the series. And it's easily my favorite. From the brilliant characters and characterizations, to the fun and varied boss fights, great story, and even fun ties to the 60s spy movie genre, Snake Eater brought our faith back to Metal Gear after the train wreck that was Sons of Liberty. And after all the sequels and re-releases, Snake Eater is still the shining jewel in the mix-mash that is the Metal Gear crown, and an easy shoe-in for my number 3.
CK's number 3. Tekken Tag Tournament for the arcade and PlayStation 2. It may surprise more than just a few people to know that I only have one fighting game on this list. I've been a fighting game fan for as long as I can remember, from the original Mortal Kombat to Street Fighter II, even Soul Calibur. But the one franchise that's always stuck around for me is the Tekken series. Now, I'm not saying that Tag is the best game in the franchise, but it definitely introduced a lot of new things to players. You were able to pick 2 characters instead of 1, you were able to tag out in the middle of combos, and you were able to do awesome tag throws. The game was visually impressive in the arcades, and when they ported it over to the PlayStation 2, I wasn't a big fan of the graphics, but they were an improvement. What's really funny about Tekken Tag, and anybody who played this game in the arcades will remember, but you couldn't practice Tekken Tag at home because there wasn't a home console port yet. So what you had to do is you went home, you played Tekken 3, and then you went back to the arcade and you practiced on Tag. And, I mean, you didn't even have all the moves on Tekken 3, so you would go into Tag and then you'd be like, well, wait a minute, I don't remember having this move. So Tag was definitely a great experience for me and a lot of my friends who, were a part of the fighting game community at our local arcade. I really do miss the arcade scene, and it's a damn shame that players these days don't have a chance to go to arcades and really test their mettle against other players. This game introduced, a greater world than just what was on the screen. You could talk to other players about strategies, who their favorite characters were, what matchups were better than others. I mean, this game just had it all for me. And what's even funnier is when Tekken 4 finally came out, a lot of players didn't really enjoy it. So what they did was they went back to playing Tekken Tag. And with Tekken Tag 2 about to be released, I'm more hyped than ever to get my hands on it.
Bonus Wagner's number 2, Mega Man X, for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. With the release of the SNES in 1991, we not only got a whole new, more powerful Nintendo to love, we got sequels to some of our most loved classic NES titles, and every damn one of them was fucking amazing. But only one of them was the best of its franchise before and after, and fits into my second favorite game of all time, Mega Man X. Mega Man X perfected everything that Mega Man is while redefining everything Mega Man should be. Solid platforming, fun boss fights, and even a slap of story to boot, X has it all, to the best of every degree. Bosses aren't just hurt from other enemies' weapons for whatever arbitrary reason. They have actual effects on them that change the way the bosses fight. Their entire play mechanics can change depending on the different weapons you use against them. Stages change depending on whether or not you've beaten different stages. There are secrets, upgrades, and Boba freaking Fett. Come on, you can't tell me Vile isn't Boba freaking Fett. To top it all off, Mega Man X has a flawless soundtrack. Not the one or two great tunes of your typical Mega Man game. Every track in the Mega Man X soundtrack rocks your face and fits the respective stage perfectly. And this is all not mentioning the fact that Mega Man X has the best use of wall jumping in its time since, the Batman game. While the other SNES sequels had more games in their franchises that redefined their series for the better, Mega Man X still holds the tippy top of the frankly messy Mega Man franchise pyramid. God damn, I love this game.
CK's number 2.
Resident Evil.
Nintendo and Resident Evil don't necessarily belong in the same sentence. So when I heard that there was going to be a remake of the original Resident Evil and it was going to be on the GameCube, I was a little skeptical. I thought that any Resident Evil game on a Nintendo platform wouldn't be worth the trouble, but good God was I wrong. For me, everything about this game was an improvement over the original. The graphics had been updated, the dialogue was better, the enemies were stronger, faster, harder to kill. This game made me afraid of zombies again. You couldn't just gun down a zombie and then forget about it. If you didn't take care of it properly, it would get back up and it would start running after you, it would claw at you. It was like 10 times stronger than it had been originally. It really made you think about what you killed and when. What was really great is fans of the original Resident Evil got all new scares and things that were specifically designed to frighten them. There were added bits of story that had been hinted at a long time ago but apparently had never been implemented in the original game that were finally put into the game, and what I mean exactly is the George Trevor diaries. And these diaries eventually culminated into one of the best additions to Resident Evil Remake, and that is Lisa Trevor. I won't spoil anything about her, but she definitely was horrific looking and absolutely disgusting in every way, but she was also extremely interesting. For myself, Remake felt like the director's cut that we had never really gotten.
And Bonus Wagner's number 1, The Legend of Zelda for the Nintendo Entertainment System. You never forget your first love. No game claims a larger piece of my heart than the original Legend of Zelda for the NES. Probably the second game I ever played, and easily the first game I ever loved. I still play through the damn thing once or twice a year. And who could blame me? There is so much to love about this damn game. The sound effects, the dungeons, the music, the secrets. For whatever reason, I still remember every damn bomb point, every damn tree to burn, and still don't remember how I found them out in the first place. Weird. Granted, there have been dozens more Zeldas, and easily one stronger than this one, but no Zelda, no matter how good, can ever take the place of the original in my heart and mind. It's the game that started it all, both for me and the Zelda franchise as a full.
CK's number 1, Doom 3 for the PC. I damn near hit the ceiling when I heard that Doom was being remade into Doom 3. I still remember playing classic Doom when it was shareware on my father's computer. That was obviously before the internet, and that kind of dates me, so whatever. Doom 3 is a fucking awesome game, and it blew away all of my expectations. Everything about this game was perfect for me. What I really did enjoy about Doom 3 was that it wasn't a typical run and gun kind of game. It was a very slow and methodic game that made you choose between being able to see and being able to defend yourself. Obviously, not holding up your flashlight with your pistol is kind of silly, but I think a lot of people forgot that that was the point of the game. The atmosphere of Doom 3 was the game's greatest strength. Unlike other games, Doom 3's atmosphere was consistent throughout the entire game. I mean, you hear whispering in the dark and you know that things are waiting there for you, and the only thing that you can do is keep pushing forward and keep pulling that trigger as fast as you can. What makes Doom 3 even better is when you finally get to Hell. Anyone who's played Doom 3 will tell you that the Hell stages are the reason to play this game. Everything there is just very nightmarish and almost feels kind of Geiger-esque in a way. And those stages have never really left me. Whenever I think of Hell now, I think of Doom 3. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but trust me, if a game can make an impact on you like that, then it definitely deserves a shot. I even find excuses to play this game over again. Every time I've upgraded my PC, the first thing I say is, I can't wait to play Doom 3 again. Honestly, if you've never played Doom 3, grab some great headphones, play it at night, turn all the lights off, and then just get yourself so immersed in the game that you feel like there's something behind you. Trust me, you won't be disappointed with Doom 3.
Well, there you have it. Entirely subjective, we know, but hopefully now you know a bit more about these fools reviewing games for you on a weekly basis. This is Bonus Wagner, and I'll see you in a week at our Silent Hill Downpour review. And as always, keep on playing.